It's easy if you try. Short stories wanted. 3 words face me on the screen. My imagination gleams back. It hungers once more for the cornucopia found in my delusions of grandeur. I look on as well. Cheery places filled with smiling faces of people who are all proud of me. I don't even reach for the misty dreams anymore. Instead, it's okay to let the brightness of this place burn them all away, in its own time. Or, perhaps, could I reach out once more? After all, the promise is sweet, and I am a bit peckish. A blinking cursor atop an untitled document. To the right is a block of text with "non-fiction" highlighted in gray. We find me in the shower. If the water is hot enough and if I scrub hard enough, then I'll emerge productive, and, I suppose, a bit red. I watch my doubts, my blank stares, and my unhealthy habits swirl down the drain. The pooled water at the drain begins to look less soapy and more clear, and so I end this crucial step of my journey. I step out into the cold, still warmed by the inflammation of my lobstered skin. Have you ever wondered how powerful your will is? I muse to my audience of future fans while making myself a snack. The hiker that gets lost in the woods can become so afraid as to give himself a heart attack and die. All because in his mind he heard a wolf's cry. Can you imagine being so devoted to a world of your own making? No, I think that may be a little too tangential. I doubt people would get it. But what would be better? I take a bite of my PB&J and pause. And chew. And think. And swallow. The best thoughts are hungry thoughts. That's a phrase, isn't it? I think on my PB&J. The 2 sweet jams alongside the 2 rich peanut butter come together perfectly in each bite. It is exactly filling enough to have 2 sandwiches back to back. The texture of mashed PB&J slides down my throat. Suddenly I don't feel hungry anymore. Nothing is jumping out at me, so, perhaps, I will jump in at it. I close my eyes. Excuse me, sir. I pardon myself to my future fan. Hopefully, my apology can make good the wrong I've committed by creating him solely for the purpose of furthering a plot device. But do you think that most people would understand the implications created by the choice to live in a world of their own perception? He blinks and tilts up his chin. What's that? What happens when you make a choice. I flail my arms for a bit of emphasis. I'm sure they know what it means to them. He squints and tilts his chin even higher. Would you happen to have a tissue? I do not believe so. No. I look away, into the void, I suppose, rather than look into the nostrils before me. You're saying that they wouldn't understand me because they'd fall back onto their own definition while also misunderstanding mine own. Either that or you're wrong. My eyes roll. A few times, for good measure. Well, I mean, yes. But would you like to share why you think I may be wrong? No. He tersely says while plugging his nose. I am beginning to think that your physical discomfort is preventing you from being able to have a rational discussion. Am I preventing you from sneezing? Or what's going on? He answers with a scrunch of his face, wrinkling it into a red grimace. Oomph. Well, I apologize. Please, Go ahead and sneeze. And sneeze he did. A viscous and angry sneeze whose foremost goal was to give back to the world all the foulness which had been thrust upon those poor sinuses in as violent a manner as possible. The snotty gruel of a kicked-up dirt sneeze. The painful vigor of a water-to-the-brain sneeze. The kind of sneeze you get when you've got a cold, but you've also just fallen down a flight of stairs onto your face. On me, as well, as I was the only other thing in existence at the time. Needless to say, I was stunned. While trying to ignore the choleric ooze attempting to encase me, I opened my eyes. Shame. A decision turned into a memory, turned into a feeling. It comes and goes, right? It does not knock, it has a key, and it's not rude, but it puts its feet up on the table while helping itself to dinner, all the same. Now how will I get my daily dose of vitamin dignity? I opened my eyes. And yet, there I was in my vision of grandeur looking out toward all the fantastical possibilities that the world holds. Golden achievements. Loving friends. I can see all the different things that would make everything great if only I would put in the effort. And then, like a drooling snot, I began to sink through the fog. My passions self-immolated, yet again, and the inimitable weight of the pit in my stomach could no longer be supported. I knew this would happen, though. I knew this would always happen. Despite that, I reached for what used to be solid ground. Some parts of my dreams had to be real. I wasn't completely wrong, was I? I reached for my urge to create, and my hand passed through the nothing of smoke. I saw beneath me myself, my mind and my body, but I drooped right through them as well. They couldn't coagulate me. Then, towards those I've said I loved, I cried out in shame, "Please, you know I tried, right? Help me." And in chronological order, they left without saying goodbye. The only thing left was my imagination. It grinned as it fed on the mist. I reached up my hand and begged, "Save me." It looked down and whispered, "No." I opened my eyes. A blinking cursor atop an untitled document. To the right is a block of text with "Nonfiction" highlighted in gray. We find me in the shower. I'm trying to cry. My pruned hands crossed over my reddened chest with my face looking into the stream. My doubts, my blank stares, and my unhealthy habits flow into me, and I feel shame. I'm racked and my body spasms as the memories wash over me. But still, I cannot cry. I'm full to the brim with shame, but not a drop more. My imagination would never dare waste something so delicious. I knew this would happen, and so I have come back to my safe place. The heat and pressure of my artificial rain soothes me just as much as it burns, and I feel fine. The steam, which clouds my eyes and feeds the mold which rots the tiles off the walls, feels good in my lungs. Each negative seems overshadowed by positivity, both within and without me. And then the fire alarm begins to chirp once more. And then twice more. And then the chirp becomes a raging screech and I'm forced to step out, again, into the cold. I bring with me my blanket of steam. My requirements are, theoretically, met. I have a place to sleep and food to eat. I have clothes to cover me and money to buy more. There are nearby venues I can go to in order to be entertained. My forefathers, hundreds of years ago, would look at my situation with the same envy that their own forefathers would have had, 100 years ago, I'm sure. I am grateful for the world that has been given to me, and I am thankful for the gifts I've been able to give back. I should be grateful for the world that has been given to me, and I should be thankful for the gifts I've been able to give back. Shouldn't that be enough? Couldn't the demon in my head live with me, rather than feed on me? We could be friends, I think. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Just let me cry, at least. My imagination sleeps, digesting its feast of dreams. I sit down at my desk. I have my PB&J, I have my fresh clothes, and my new epidermis is coming in nicely. I am the result of a years-long journey that I have painstakingly chosen over all other alternatives. And yet, my eyes are a reflection of the untitled document in front of me. Still, though, I do know that if I end up having a staring contest between myself and the cursor, it will blink first. 3 words face me on the screen. Short stories wanted. It's easy if I try.